Hello, everybody. I'm Kristen.
And I'm Will.
And this is So I'm Watching Andor, Season 2, Episode 8. Who are you?
I shouldn't make such an excited face after such an intense episode. Oh my God.
So good.
What an episode.
So excited. Okay, so.
Grim.
Super grim. I will say, I was expecting this.
I thought this would be 6 or 9.
Oh, sure. There's one piece of trivia for this episode, and it is long as fuck.
Jesus.
I'm certainly not going to read the whole thing.
How many pieces of trivia is that crammed into one?
Well, it's like basically just like about the Gormon. It's basically like if this hadn't happened, they couldn't build the Death Star, and if they couldn't build the Death Star, they wouldn't have needed the rebellion. And it's like it's like an Ouroboros of like activities. But the thing that this says very specifically is that the Calkite is the only thing capable of being the focusing lens on the beam. So it's like they could build the physical Death Star without it, but it's like the planet-killing beam. Obviously, that was like what the Death Star was like for.
Yeah. I assumed it was fuel of some kind.
Yeah. That's what this says. It says it's the only mineral found to be capable of both withstanding the immense amount of energy generated by the Death Star's super laser reactors and accurately focusing the energy after it passes through the super laser's massive kyber crystals. And because it is basically essentially kind of like super fracking, like we were talking about, because it's so deep beneath the planet's surface. So that was really interesting to me.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
And it helped because I was like, I still couldn't wrap my head around exactly what it was, because I was like, it does still seem finite. So like if it was fuel, it would be so silly to like.
Well, that's why I was thinking they had like designed some sort of core, like sustaining core, like a sun essentially in the center, kind of like the Earth's core is like liquid metal, like molten.
Gotcha.
That's kind of what I was assuming, and they needed it to be this certain type of metal.
So yeah, that bit of information really helped me, because I'm like, oh, okay, well, you only need the like one.
They just have been dancing. They've been weirdly dancing around saying Death Star.
Yeah.
Because they put it in the trailer. There's like an image of it in the trailer. Yeah. So like, it's coming, and the people who are paying attention, have been paying attention to Star Wars, know that it's coming. It's in Rogue One or anything. I would wager that there are very few people for whom this is their first experience with Star Wars. So for them,
that would be hilarious.
Cool. Yeah. Good for them. In the next set of, and either the next episode or the next series of episodes, they'll be very blown away probably by the existence of the very awesome Death Star.
Like, I know that we're almost 40, and also I know that Star Wars is about to be 50. The first one, 77.
That's approaching,
right? Yeah. But like, it actually is crazy to me that there are people who would start here.
Well, just like young people, like if there's like this show would intrigue certain older teenagers.
Yeah, I don't know.
Who maybe have missed Star Wars up till this point.
I guess. I just feel like I would.
I'm not, like I said, I'm sure there are not many people for whom that is the case. But there, one or two is like, man,
I guess it is just like kind of, you don't have to have, because this is a prequel, you don't.
It's pretty self-contained, and it's not referencing anything in the prequel movies that happened before it, and
interesting.
And it is only enhanced by knowing what happens in Rogue One, as far as I'm concerned. So
I think Diego Luna just recently was like, Rogue One is going to watch so different after the end of this season.
I'm definitely going to watch it again afterwards. I'm sure if you want to.
I mean, obviously you watch stuff in your office, and I was like, what am I going to do besides watch it with you? And I was like, I'm going to be right there.
The whole episode takes place on Gormon, so we don't have to do any like, where do you want to start?
No. I mean, I think we should probably pour one out for basically everybody. Well,
there's one big one.
Your boy Syril.
Syril's gone.
Oh, R.I.P.
So we want to just like talk about him in general in this episode.
Oh my God.
It was very intense.
Yeah.
In a way that I found somewhat odd in both of his big scenes. It like...
Oh, like with Cassian too?
Yeah. Well, his
I found that less odd, but I actually found both of them pretty... I get it.
Well, I get it. I understood it more knowing that their original target was 5 seasons.
Oh.
Yeah. They were like, their original plan was 5 seasons.
That's
and
too
then
many.
the Tony Gilroy was like, there's no fucking way we're doing that for 5 seasons. So it was just like a really intense reaction.
Oh, I guess was then every BBY gonna be a...
Probably. He just goes straight to strangling with Dedra when he like finds out officially.
He grabs her shoulders first, but then
When I say straight to strangling, I mean this is their first altercation
fight.
And he's like, I am going to grab your throat as hard as I can.
Well,
and you're going to tell me what the fuck is going on.
And also like potentially murder you inside this like Empire base. Okay, here's the thing. He is back at their apartment when he gets this like he gets a knock on the door and he's like, everybody has to go to the like official building. Yeah. So like go to the official building. He seemingly has not started packing at all. He's like rearranging spiders on the credenza or whatever.
Well, I think that was meant to signify that, he keeps those and he cares about them. So like,
yeah, I know he's kept them all. He's done that before. I've seen him do that before.
I know that. I'm just that. I think that's meant to be like a little bit of shorthand. Like he doesn't see them as like hard villain enemies.
No, of course not.
Otherwise, he would throw them away. He
was not positioned to. Right. He was very specifically positioned to be a go-between. And so he thought that they were trying to actually legitimately find outside agitators. Mm-hmm. And so that's why it actually works for me that he went immediately to like a physical violence place with her, because it also, I can imagine in his head is like, was any part of our relationship like, or were you using me to do bad things the whole time?
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
And he feels super betrayed by that. Mm-hmm. And then also he's like distraught at what is about to happen to all these people that he knows and like semi cares about. Mm-hmm. It's one of those things where you it's like, how much sympathy am I supposed to have for this guy? But it's like, he was properly wrecked. Like he had no clue what was going to happen. And then he basically was like, you're just going to kill all these people. And all of it was the plan. And it's been the plan the whole time. And you lied to me about what I was doing here the entire time. And I made connections here. And so it's like, you have built my whole situation up into a lie as well. And like, I can kind of get
I definitely see it. Like, I'm not saying it's like way off base. I wish, and like, maybe I will catch this more on like a rewatch. I wish there was like 1 or 2 other moments where he is like figuring out that it's not what she says it is.
Yeah, I mean,
not like figuring it all out.
Yeah, he was suspicious a couple of times, but it wasn't enough. I agree. Now, man, knowing that they wanted 5 seasons definitely does make a difference. But that feels like too many.
No, for sure. Yeah. I mean, I like love the show.
Yeah.
And I think I liked that scene anyway. Like we knew that had to happen based on how they positioned the 2 of them at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
Or I guess once they get to Gore, so like in the second set of episodes.
Yeah.
Man, he just went straight for strangling this woman that he like presumably does still love.
Well, not anymore.
Yeah. So we can talk about that too. The reason I felt that the thing with Andor, like, and again, I do understand like the choice to do it the way they did, because Andor has been this thorn.
Yeah.
The
He's
whole
had a
time
hard on for him since episode 1. Yeah.
So like, I definitely get it. But at this point, it was a little bit hard to say like where Syril's like anger was coming from. Because to me, a portion of it, well, like obviously, yes, he was mad at Dedra for lying to him. But if he was that mad enough to strangle her at the idea of
this betrayal,
not even this betrayal, but the use of him to contribute to essentially a genocide that he knows is happening. And he knows that Andor is in opposition to the Empire.
Yeah.
Why then go after him?
So it's
on the other side, I am like, he's been such a thorn. He came up in the ISB, which is like a small, like a portion of the Empire. He like works for the ISB. He's not a military officer or anything. So like, I get that, like his devotion to the Empire, I'm talking with my hands a lot. His devotion to the Empire to this point would carry through to this.
Yeah, but I actually don't think it's so much that as I do think there's actually I mean, I think he is but I actually, by this point, I think he's not as devoted to the Empire. I think now that he knows what's happening,
I agree.
And I think more...
That's the thing. I think it would have been... I just don't know how else they would have done it. So like I can't really complain about it. And he does fight him and then does not shoot Cassian at the end before he gets, whacked by... Yeah.
So that's the thing is, I think that the reason he is going so hard after Cassian is potentially because he's so hurt by Dedra and he just sees Cassian as the reason he met her.
Okay.
If he hadn't been so hard up for catching Cassian, he never would have even appeared on her radar.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like the last 4 years of his life have been this.
Devoted to this.
Yeah. Yep. So that's kind of where I landed on it.
Yeah. It definitely is like a bit of like psychosis of all of it hitting kind of at one time.
Yeah. Oh, he had a full psychotic break. Because once the actual shots started firing, he was just like
that was one
walking around in a daze.
The only like actual criticism, and it's not even really that much of a criticism, is that it does like keep cutting back to him kind of a lot of time. Like that when he's just like kind of standing there and the camera's going around him and there's like the stormtroopers in the background are shooting people and we're like, I get it. Like he's distraught at the situation. And somehow didn't manage to get shot by stormtroopers, but I'm surprised anybody did, to be honest.
Especially because the one got shot in the arm and flailed around so bad he fell over the railing of the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so obviously, so Cassian's still trying to kill Dedra basically the whole time.
Well, he definitely is. They did a mediocre job of like of convincing me he shouldn't have taken the shot a couple of times. Like,
depends on
he
how
definitely
like
had her in his
reinforced
sights
that blast is.
Well, there was a couple times she was outside and he got his sight. Like not just like take the one shot. Like I guess I understand. Like if you take one shot and miss, you're never getting another one.
Yeah.
So in that regard, I get it. But at the same time, I was just like, pull the trigger.
Yeah. We also got that one droid.
Yep. K2SO is what his name is.
He's around.
The one in Rogue One.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of them.
There are like 6 of them, but then one of the guys, Sam, maybe, smashes into him, cuts him in half.
Yeah.
And so Cassian's taking him away because Cassian's leaving. Wilman is staying because he's worried about his girlfriend.
Yeah.
She is...
his last night girlfriend.
Well, it seems like they've been making eyes before. But, I mean, I don't know how many times he's been at Gormon.
I don't know.
So I think they like...
kind of unclear. Once before, as far as we've seen, the two of them go.
Yeah. Anyway.
Over a year ago.
Yeah, and so... he stays behind with her. They are sending out a really tragic
like final broadcast
like,
for help.
If anybody can hear them, please anybody come, like who can help us. And literally saying what it is, like the Empire is murdering us, which is like really well done.
Yeah.
Enza is dead. She gets hucked across the square by one of the droids.
Most of them are dead.
Most of them are dead. I mean, a handful of them are good. The one guy, just the hand gesture guy. I don't know almost anybody's name.
Like Enzo was the daughter.
And
then Sam, you said, was the guy that cut the droid in half.
I think so.
Caro is the older
dad.
guy.
He seems to be alive still.
He is alive.
Just distraught.
Yeah.
And then
we don't know if he knows his daughter is dead yet, so like he might.
She really just hucked across the whole square.
That kept happening. They were just like throwing people really anytime they were on screen.
Yeah, really, really hard. Also, the like media part of this
is very like timely.
Very right now today.
Yeah.
They're just basically propaganda, doing Imperial propaganda.
Yeah.
Which is really alarming. And then in the shot of Edie at the end watching it with like her 2 friends, and she clearly obviously doesn't know yet that Syril's dead, but she must know. There's
probably like a little bit of time. If there's enough time for like news to set up and do like a...
Well, they were in there when it started. The guy was still reporting as shots were firing.
Well, I know, but like that whole thing would have to wind down.
Oh, sure.
And then the one woman in that newscast was like standing still amidst chaos. Like that would have had to wind down and be somewhat cleaned up. And she was like, they're still counting the bodies from the insurgents. Like it could have been as much as a week, as far as I'm concerned. A couple days probably, but I would bet she was in tears.
Yeah.
I don't think she would care that much. It was like nothing.
I mean, knowing that he was there, if she hadn't heard from him yet, she'd probably be pretty distraught.
Yeah, I read that as like her.
She
her
knew.
knowing,
that's fine.
But she still put herself together.
Of course she did. She's amazing. Dedra is also pretty undone by the whole thing
She's
as well. Yeah, I think I actually I saw like a little bit of an interview where it's like, it's because the things are like out of her control. So she's like not really upset so much about the massacre. It's that she lost Syril. Yep. And even if she doesn't know he's dead, she knows that he's left her. Mm-hmm. And so that I think was really interesting. I think Denise Goff, did we decide?
Yeah.
Is like, wow.
She's doing really good. She just so easily could be like loathed.
Yeah.
Like only evil. Mm-hmm. She could be like one of those, like, you like her as a good villain, but you like her as just as a person.
Yeah.
Like they've done good work, good writing for her, and she has carried it off in such a way.
Well too.
Even in this episode, like if they hadn't done that scene of her like clutching at her thing and then like not really knowing how to straighten her thing and like that, they could have not included that and let you just think that she has made that like transition over into like Imperial full, monster essentially, like no humanity whatsoever.
I mean, she's not a monster, but it was the Captain Kaido
for sure, big time monster.
Big time monster, because he was watching all of the shooting happening and he was smiling. Yeah, which is like really, and she had like an actual legitimate hard time with it.
Yeah, I do think that in that moment, like, yes, Syril was a big part of it. I think also like it hit, like her seeing how it hit Syril when he found out the truth, made it hit her again, made her realize what she had done both to Syril, and I think probably she, like, there's like an argument to be made that this was the plan the whole time. They were never trying to make an alternate solution. They were just giving them enough time to build
and
this propaganda machine. And maybe she's been
slightly duped
as well. And she's been duped too.
Okay.
And she was hoping, potentially, that there would be another option so that this didn't have to go the way it is. And even another layer on that, she could have like truly been thinking like, okay, well, the step between like not getting,
we just need to smother the resistance.
It could just be from us not getting the planet to full blown massacre. The step in the middle is we actually manage an evacuation of some kind.
Sure.
And then the planet can be destroyed. It sounds blasé, but yeah, she had a lot going on, and the fact that we're even willing to like investigate it at like in a talk,
as opposed to just being
evil. Like, what a fucking piece of shit.
Right.
And like she had to like make piece of shit decisions, but like she, like, they do such a good job in the show making not every person in the Empire. It reminded me of there's a movie from like I want to say it's the 80s called Das Boot. It's a German movie. It's about a German U-boat. It all takes place on a German U-boat. And the whole point of it is that, because you would think in World War II, it would just be full of Nazis. Mm-hmm. But it's full of German Navy, like, conscripts, or like people that were in the Navy before the war started.
Sure.
They were like, I just want to be in the Navy.
Yeah.
And now they're like,
guess I'm in the Navy.
Yeah, I guess I'm really fucking in the Navy now. So it's really interesting because there is one or two of them that are like
all for it.
Not like all for it, but like are much more like sympathetic to the cause. Yeah. But even the captain, who you would recognize, I forget his name. It really is like, I don't want this.
I don't want to do this.
Like, this isn't, like, this is way beyond the type of war that I wanted to be contributing to, you know?
Yeah.
So that's also what I was thinking about when Dedra had her like moments.
Yeah, I agree. Basically that's it. It is the whole episode. Cassian is leaving. He does leave Wilman behind, and I think that's gonna go poorly.
Yeah, we don't see it go poorly.
But he is basically listening to the transmission that Drina is sending out as he leaves, and he's crying. Yeah. So
it's crazy that this was the middle episode. So I'm like so interested in what the next episode, like, I know what the title's called because I saw it on the thing.
Well, I saw one tiny spoiler. I mean, you can just sort of imagine, but
yeah, it's called Welcome to the Rebellion.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of stuff that you could take from that, but I suspect we're going to get a lot of Mon Mothma this episode.
Yes. That's all I want.
Yeah. So yeah, that's mostly it. There was like a moment with the bellboy that was really wonderful.
He just had a bomb ready to go, threw it at the door.
No, before that.
Oh, earlier. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I almost started crying. You're right. And he said rebellions are built on hope, and
He says, I hope you make it out of here, or like, I hope you are okay.
Yeah. Oh man, that really got me. But then he was like fortifying the hotel lobby kind of.
He was like,
through
they show him like flag. There was people inside the doors of the hotel, which we know from previous episodes abuts the plaza, and he like is flagging the people away from the door because they're trying to like fortify by the part between the doors where that's wall, and he's like, get the fuck out of there, and throws this other bomb and like blows up. I mean, I think he was behind stuff, so he was fine. Because if Cassian can be behind a bar, and that same bomb goes off, and he's fine, I believe the kid is still alive. But he gets like 5 or 6 stormtroopers and generates a lot of chaos. So
awesome!
It was really cool.
Loved it.
It was such a good episode.
It was a really good episode. Really good. Really powerful.
Yeah, very like.
Yeah. Also, we did discuss they finally did like a shot from above of the plaza.
Oh, yeah.
And it looks even more French than originally depicted.
Yeah, not even just of the plaza. You like finally see
like neighborhood.
A pretty wide shot of like the surrounding city. And it does look obvious.
Paris.
It's so Paris inspired. It's much more like Paris is very flat. And this was tiered and hills and stuff. But
Paris is a pretty big hill.
Well, yeah, but this is like very like this house is this high, this house is this high, this house, So, but obviously the like architecture was very Paris inspired and on purpose and unmissably so.
Not subtle at all.
Not a subtle illusion at all. But yeah, very good episode. Very grim, very very dark.
Yeah.
But like. That's kind of why you're watching.
Yeah.
This.
It also, I do think we should say it was very like they were chanting for a long time, and then they started singing, and it was while they were singing there was an Imperial sniper on the roof who started firing so that the Empire could fire.
Not only that, like they stopped chanting because it seemed, like more aggressive, and they started singing what I assume was like a national anthem.
No, it was just La Marseillaise, basically. Like, I mean, it wasn't, but that was the vibe, the Casablanca vibe.
So they send out a handful of these new recruits.
Yeah.
And which is why they looked so young when Dedra said that in the last episode. They basically needed them to not be good at their job so that they would lose, essentially. And then they were meant to like make a gap in them so that they could. The excuse was they needed to get to the monument, but obviously it was bullshit. The sniper shot one of them first, like one of the Imperial guards with the...
Yeah, so that it would look like the Gormons did it so that they could open fire.
Yeah, that's exactly. What I said. That's not what you said. You said sniper started shooting.
Oh, well, that was the implication.
No, it wasn't, because they were in a group of people who are protesting. They could have shot a protester.
No, that's obviously what he was doing. I could see that, and I knew that. He shot at the Empire so that the Empire would open fire. Yeah. I guarantee I said that. It's not what you said.
It's not.
Rewind
I'll leave it in.
Tape.
I'll leave it in. If it's in there, I'll eat my hat.
While they were singing, there was an Imperial sniper on the roof who started firing so that the Empire could fire. All right. That is it, though.
Yeah,
we're going to go watch the last one for this week, and we'll be back.
Hopefully this is more relevant. Like more me being excited is more appropriate. That's the word. Sure. Not I'm not like celebrating genocide.
No, I'm like celebrating genocide. It just was a good episode
of
TV.
It was. All right, bye.